What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Coach Rob, and today I don't have a fragrance review for you, but if you can see in the title, this is fragrance related. Now, what I'm sharing with you guys is a discovery that I just made. Now, some of you guys, this is going to be common knowledge. You guys have already known about this for years, and you've already, researched and looked into it. Some of you guys that may have been like me, you've also heard about it, but you never paid too much attention to it, and you never like researched it. And for some of you guys, this is going to be totally new, something that you just never thought that you would look into. But before I go into that, I want to kind of give you guys a background of what I relate to this and how I kind of what made it hit home for me. And basically, for you guys that's been following me, if you was watching my videos that I did back with the fragrance idol, you would know that I made a video called Central City. And in that video, what I did was I showed you guys shots of my city, things that I like to do, places I like to go, places I like to eat, etc. And in that video, I talked about, or I showed a picture of Del Mar races and, the horse track races. And basically, I don't know the season of when horses race. I don't know if it's a year-round thing, but I just know here in San Diego, they come here around mid-July, and the season ends around late August, early September. So every year, opening day is like a big day. Like the last time I went, it was like 50,000 people came, and I mean these are like high rollers. You're gonna see Lamborghinis out there, Bentleys. You might see a Bugatti. I mean, you're gonna see a lot of stuff out there. All the high rollers come out for opening day, and they have like a hat contest. So all ladies have these big old hats, and I mean they're pretty creative. But ladies bring their hats, so there's a lot of women out there. Great place to pick up on women if that's what you want to do, and gamble and bet on horses, etc. Right? So when you walk in the gate, they give you a pamphlet, a little booklet that has the all the races, the odds, the name of the horses, the time of the races, etc. So me, my boy, a couple of my boys and the ladies, we all went out there, for our first time. And I'm not a gambler, so I really don't know a lot about gambling. I mean, I played a lot on stuff like that. I may play some fantasy football or something, but I'm not a big time gambler. So when I went there, I had no idea about how to bet, and they had like trifecta and exactas and all these different variations of ways you can bet. So basically, me and my boy, we was like, look, we're gonna find a horse and we're just gonna pick that horse to win. We're not gonna bother with all this, extra ways to bet. So me and him, we're looking at the little booklet and we're going down the names. And as soon as we get to this one name, I never forget the name. His name was the horse's name was Knockout Artist. As soon as we got to the Knockout Artist, me and my boys like that one. You know what I'm saying? So we picked the Knockout Artist. I put $20 on him. My boy put 10 because he's not really a big gambler either. So we go up to the the booth. We tell the man like, look, we want to bet on well, I said it first. Well, I said it. He bet after me. I want to bet on the Knockout Artist. So he's like, what? You want a trifecta, exacta, box? He was saying all this crazy. So I'm like, look, man, I just want that horse to win. That's all. I'm putting $20 on that horse to win. That's all I know about. So he was like, all right, cool. So give him my little 20 bucks. He gives me the ticket. My boy comes behind me. He puts 10 on the Knockout Artist to win, right? So we go to our seats, and we're like, tell the girls, like, look, horse number 6, that's the horse we bet on. You know what I'm saying? So, pay attention to that horse. So we're all sitting in our seats. Boom, the races start. You see the horse going around, and then he's trying to, as he's going around, you're like, damn, number 6 is kind of pulling away, like, oh shit, he might win. So now we kind of getting out, like now we're getting out of our seats, and our girls are like, oh man, y'all gonna win. So now they're getting all pumped up, and I'm we jumping up and down. The horse is coming closer to the finish line, and right when he get to the finish line, he just start pulling away, like it's just obvious he's gonna win. So we all going crazy, we all yelling like, yeah man, we won, blah 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 blah, all this crazy stuff, girls screaming, we high-fiving, we doing all that stuff, right? So the race is over, we won. That's my first bet ever. First bet I've ever put on a horse, and I won, and he won also. So we're like, damn, man, I wonder how much money we won. Being that I only bet 20, he bet 10, we probably thought, maybe 50 bucks or something, 40 bucks, maybe we doubled our money. So I go to the ticket booth and I'm telling the dude like, hey, I think, I want some money. My horse won, but being that I only bet, for him to win, I didn't think I won that much. So anyway, I get into the ticket and he's looking at it. He's like, he put it in the machine and he looks at it. He said, okay, you did good. So I'm like, all right, what did I get? I won 400 some odd dollars. My first time ever playing with 20 bucks. My boy, he won like 200 and something. So the odds, I don't know, had to be like 20 to 1 or something like that. I don't know. But I'm like, damn. So, I'm hooked now. At that point, I'm like, I just won 400 bucks off of like $20. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So now, the rest of the day, me and my boy, we looking for the coolest names to bet on. I know it sounds stupid, but that's what we're doing. We're looking for the best horses, the horses with the best name. We didn't care about odds. We didn't care about none of that. We just, whoever got the coolest name, that's what we betting on. Needless to say, I ain't win nothing else the rest of the day. So I'm like, damn, man. But I mean, I'm still excited after, winning 400 bucks. We bought some drinks. I probably came home with like 300, maybe 250 because, me and the girls and everybody and the boys, we was drinking and having fun, having a good time. I think we bet on some other stuff like we tried to do the trifectas and all those other variations of the bet, but we didn't win anything. So we left. Then my boy, he was like, look, we need to go back to Del Mar to the races and just bring the fellas. So I was like, cool. So, but this time, I'm like, before I go, I'm going to do my research. I looked into all the horses. I researched what tracks that they went on. I don't know what they call it, but it's like they have like a ranch or like an owner or a certain kind of, I don't know if it's a company that put out good horses. So depending on where this horse was raised and bred and who trained it or whatever, I was even looking into that. So I'm like, I mean, like these ranches or this company with this brand basically puts out winning horses. So I was looking into that. I had my little San Diego Tribune newspaper that with all the experts, all their picks. I knew the names of the horses. I knew their records. I knew if they were, who their parents were, if their dad won a race in the past, whatever. I knew all that, right? So I come to the next race prepared with all the information. So I'm picking like the analyst picks and who they're saying was hot, and this horse, he's always, win on this type of track, and he's undefeated and all this stuff. I didn't win anything. So I'm like, damn, I did all this research, you know, I picked the horses from the best, best breed, thoroughbred, background, trainers, and all this stuff. Experts said these people were gonna win. They didn't win. So I was in line. I was gonna do my last bet of the day. I said, "Look, man, I gotta try. I gotta do something. I'm gonna go back to picking, cool names because that's what worked for me." And while I was in line, I seen this dude. He looked the part. He was clean, nice shirt on, nice shoes. Looked like he had a Rolex watch on. And he had money in his hand. Counting, and he's in line. Looking at the book, about to put his bets in. So for you guys that don't know about me, in real life, I'm a people's person. Like I talk to anybody, anywhere. If me and you catch eye contact on the street, I'm gonna be like, "What's up, hey man? How you doing? Having a nice day or whatever." I always talk to people. I think every week, a week, I'll probably talk to 4 to 5 strangers that I never know. Every week, I'm pretty much probably talking to 4 or 5 new people I didn't talk to the week previously. Like I talk to people in a gas station, grocery store. I don't care where we at. If me and you make eye contact, I'm gonna say how you doing, what's up, female, male, whoever. It don't matter to me. So, and that could be where a lot of my compliments come from because I talk to people. I'm always in people's personal space. They're always in my personal space. So they can catch a whiff of me. So I think that's where a lot of compliments come from me. Is that I talk to people. But anyway, so I see dude. I go up to him. I say, "Hey man, how you doing? How's your betting going?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm cool, man. I got about $2,000-3,000 a day." So I'm like, "Damn, you did like, if you don't mind me asking, like, what's your secret? Like, what do you look for when you bet?" And he was saying, "Well, you know what?" And I said, "I haven't won anything today." So he was like, "Well, who are you betting on? And what's your strategy?" And I told him, I said, "Look, man, I did all my research. I bet on this horse. I made sure, like, this horse did this, and he came from this background, and this horse ran good on this track." And he said, "I'm gonna stop you right there." He said, "I'm gonna fill you in with one secret." He said, "You never bet on the horse. You bet on the jockey." So I'm like, "What?" Like, I'm like, the jockey, the little ass dude, like the jockey. It's all about the horse. They you know what I mean. The horse is the one that's winning all these tracks and blah blah blah. And he was like, "Trust me. Bet on the jockey." He said, "What I want you to do, you can put in your little bet right here, but for the rest of the day, don't bet nothing. All I want you to do, watch the races and write down every person that wins the race, that comes in first, and even second or third if you want. But write down the dudes, the jockeys that win." So that's what I did. So after I talked to him, I thanked him and said, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna try out your strategy." So what I did for the next races, I didn't win my last race that I bet, but for the next races, I wrote down a name, and I remember one jockey who stood out, and I think his name was Michael Blaze or Mike Blaze, something Blaze. And he didn't win every race, but say for instance he ran one race, he might have won that one. Then the next two he didn't win. Then the next race he won. Then the next one he didn't win. Then the next, you know what I mean? So he didn't win every race, but if I just put my money just on him, I was bound to hit. I was bound to win something eventually. So now let me transition this back into fragrances. What I learned that day is it's not about what a lot of people focus on. A lot of people focus on the horse. If you watch ESPN, if you look in the newspaper, if you look at the magazines, they'll tell you every statistic about this horse, the age of the horse, how fast the horse is, what tracks he run good on, and they very seldom do they talk about the jockey. This guy that was successful in betting, he bet on the jockey. Back to fragrances. Fragrances, we all in this community, we all talk about designer, niche. We all talk about the houses. This house is better than that house. This niche is better than this designer. This is better quality, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And what I recently discovered is that it's not necessarily about the house, but it's about the perfumer. You need, especially if you're a new guy, that you're looking for things that you like, you're looking for, what fragrance would I like, and you blind buying a lot of stuff. For one, don't blind buy. I don't recommend blind buying. I sampled a whole bunch of stuff based off, reviewers, recommendations. I sample first. So blind buy, but once you know what you like. First of all, you gotta know the categories. Like I said in the video a long time ago, with me, I'm a citrus aromatic, I'm a fresh, type of fragrance lover. Those are my categories. In the winter, being it's not that, it gets cool, but not real cold, I like to put on my gourmands. So citrus and gourmands is pretty much my take. So you start there. Then from there, stop focusing on, oh, just because it's amouage, it's going to be great. Because I'm going to tell you, I smelled a whole bunch of amouage that I thought were just, I'm not going to call them garbage, but they were not my taste at all. Regardless of how fine the ingredients were or how well put and complex these fragrances are, they're not what I enjoy. So don't get caught up in niche designer, all this hype and amouage and by Kilian and all that. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, focus on the perfumer. And the recent discoveries that I made, and I'm going to give you an example. I had a subscriber recently email me, send me a PM, and he was like, look, Rob, I watched your Sun-owned review, and I purchased it based off your review, and I loved it. He said, now, upon further review, I started researching it, and I seen he made 2 other male fragrances. Do you have any experience with those? And if so, can you do a review? If not, can you get one to do a review? So I told him, I said, cool. I don't know about those other 2 male fragrances, but what I will do for you, I'll research them, may purchase one, and do a review, and I'll let you know when I do a review. So as soon as I, email him that, I went on Fragrantica. And I looked, Alpha Song, and I seen he made 2 other ones. He made one I think called He, and he makes one called Paradise Own. And now when I was looking at Paradise Own, based off the notes, I'm like, I'm gonna love this. It was a marine, it had watery notes, pretty much it was a fruity aquatic. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna probably purchase this one and do a review on this for my boy, my subscriber, and because he asked me to do it. But as I was reading about it, it had a perfumer, and his name was I think it was what was his name? David Appel or something like that. So I said, man, let me click on this. I never clicked on a perfumer before. Yeah, I did back in the day. I'm gonna get to that too. Back in the day, I did, but I didn't really put too much into it. But anyway, I clicked on his name, and Bow it gave it his whole resume, pretty much everything that he's done to this point. So to my surprise, I'm like, okay, he did, this Paradise one I'm looking at. He did the other male one called He, and then I looked down, he did Bleecker Street. I'm like, damn, this dude did Bleecker Street. Then he did, Bonds Number 9 for you guys that don't know. Then he also did Wall Street, another Bond Number 9, which is a niche. So I'm like, damn. Then I'm looking further down. Then he did Unforgivable by Sean John. So I'm like, okay, this dude has a nice resume. So at that moment, boom, a light came on. I'm like, okay, this perfumer, he works with niche and he works with a designer. And a lot of you guys say, niche uses finer ingredients and then people, it's more about the art, and it's about, the person making it. He can do whatever. He can put his art form in and all that. But my thing is this. if I'm a perfumer and I made a fragrance for a designer and I made a fragrance for a niche house, regardless of what's house, I'm gonna put my best out there. I'm not gonna make something great for this niche house and then put out some BS for this designer, because at the end of the day, that's my resume. Like with a job, you're not gonna say, hey, you're applying for a job. You're gonna say, hey, you know what? My other jobs, I was a terrible employee, but on this last job for this good company, I was the man. I did everything. I came to work on time, blah blah blah. Because an employer gonna be like, I don't give a damn. I want to see consistency. I want to make sure you perform at every place you've been at. And I think that would be the same thing. Like, and this dude, he also did, I think, one of the black orchids for Tom Ford. So now I'm like, okay, David Appel, you worked for Tom Ford, you worked for Bond Number 9, and you did something for Alfred Sun. So if I'm Tom Ford and I've seen your resume, I'm not going to come at you and say, look, dude, you work with all your designer fragrances that have been all garbage, but yet I want you to make me a great fragrance for Tom Ford. I don't believe it's going to work like that. You know what I mean? For Tom Ford to approach this guy to make something for his house, this guy had to have a resume to where he made quality fragrances, whether it was designer or whether it was niche. Now, that's just my belief. I could be totally wrong, but I'm assuming that regardless of the designer, the niche house that employs these perfumers, they're going to put out a quality product if they're a quality perfumer, regardless. Bottom line. And if that is true, if that happens to be the case, that's who you guys need to focus on. Find your favorite perfumers, follow him, and I guarantee you, you're going to find other great fragrances, regardless if it's niche or regardless if it's designer. So that's just my opinion, guys. I would like to hear your take on that. I would like to hear, if you discovered that and you've been following specific perfumers for the last year, a couple of months, you feel I'm totally don't know what the hell I'm talking about or whatever, but just share your experiences with me. And let me know what you're doing, or let me know how you pick your fragrances based on your house. And if you do feel that a perfumer that made a great niche, do you feel he would put in the same, work and his same craft and his same, expertise in a designer fragrance like he did if he worked on a niche fragrance? I would love to hear your take, guys. Hey, but that's it. Depending on what the ladies say, determines what I spray. Give me your take on this stuff, guys. I would love to hear it. Peace.